Hi there, YouTube family, YouTube friends. I am back with 8 legit data entry work from home job leads that I would like to share with you. Make sure you go watch the long version video. So let's go and let me show you. The first job is with Immediate View Inc. They're seeking administrator to work from home. Job number 2 is with this company. They're seeking help desk support analyst to work from home. Job number 3 is with Sonava. They're currently seeking cash posters to work from home. Job number 4 is with Elevate Outdoor Collective. They're seeking accounts receivable specialist to work. Job number 5 is with this company. They're seeking cash application specialist 2 to work from home. Job number 6 is with this company. They're seeking HMMS data input and retrieval specialist 3 to work from home. Job number 7 is with CMR, which is known as Claims Management Resource. They're seeking data entry specialists to work remote. Job number 8 is with this company. They're seeking legal operations specialists to work for. Go to my YouTube channel, type in The Rest is Sweat, and you can watch the long version video and check out the other videos too as well.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae. I hope that everybody had a pleasant, wonderful, blessed, merry, joyful Thanksgiving on yesterday. All right, so normally I come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but because it was Thanksgiving, I went ahead and I said I made my arrangements and came on tonight. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, my YouTube family. Good evening, my Twitter family, and of course, my Facebook family. Good evening. All right, so we're going to move this along because 30 minutes comes and goes very, very quickly. Let me start with my website disclaimer. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, that all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself is subject to the limitations of current and available material, but the final responsibility rests with you. For successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently, and it's recommended that you will consult another physician, another specialist, and or religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness. Now, let me move this on. I am a degree counselor. And let me move this along. And I acquired my degrees from Ashford University. I have a bachelor's of science degree in organizational management and psychology. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through stressful and traumatic. Good evening, Peaches. Stressful and traumatic experiences. And so when human beings experience trauma or severe life stressors, it is not uncommon for people to feel like their lives are unraveling. So I help clients who include children, adults, and family members to find healthy perceptions of themselves and to strengthen their relationships so they can know themselves as peaceful, complete, whole, and safe. Guys, my voice is really, really in and out. So y'all please bear with me. Y'all know it's because of the weather change, especially those of us that live down south. Y'all know the weather's good, and then the weather is maybe a little chilly, not cold, but a little chilly. All right, so let's move this on. I am a Christian counselor, so let me give you my scripture and let me move this along. I'm going to give you my scripture for this month. I'm gonna open it and let me go back. So my scripture comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23 version, and it says to be made new in the attitude of your minds. And that's the NIV version once again. All right, so let's move this along to our key points for today. Let me magnify it a little, and I'm going to bring it back out. The key points for this evening is the different types of motivation. That's number 1. Number 2 is 5 types of intrinsic motivation, and I'm going to be looking back and forth. I have different monitors. Number 3 is what are the 4 types of external motivation. Number 4 is how to use the types of motivation to your advantage. Number 5 is the best types of motivation for different scenarios in your life. And number 6 is, can motivation be considered negative as well? All right, and then we have our takeaway and our quote. So let me move this down. I'm sorry. We're going to begin with the question for this evening. And it says, what moves you? What motivates you? And we know, I don't care whether how old or how young we are, we know what motivates us. And most of the time, what motivates us is something that makes us feel good, something that we like, something that we're interested in. But the question, and this is by Dr. Elizabeth Perry, she asked the question, what moves you? And so when she's talking about understanding motivation, your motivation is your key to success. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Dr. Elizabeth Perry's her theory on motivation, and she's specializes in motivation. Period. All right, so she talks about the different types of motivation. So we're going to break this down, and she says that we can boil things down. And let me move this over because I don't want to be looking too away from the camera too much. But she says that we can break things down to motivation types. We have the intrinsic type and we have the extrinsic. Both also have accompanying autotypes or subtypes, excuse me. So number one, let's talk about intrinsic motivation. And I'm going to move my PowerPoint over too, so y'all can kind of follow as I go. All right. Intrinsic motivation or internal motivation is the same exact thing. And it comes from within us. And it refers to when you do something for its own sake, because it aligns with your interest, what I was just talking about, or your passions or your personal values. That is what's considered an intrinsic type of motivation for you. And these motivators come with internal rewards, like we were saying, like the feelings of knowing that you're following your life's purpose. And that also means that they hold a deeper meaning for you than other motivators. So, which can usually keep you focused on a goal for a longer period of time. Now, if you're not, some people are just natural sport people. So to them, exercising, a natural athletic type person, exercising is something that they love to do. It motivates them. Somebody that's a natural, again, athlete, they naturally can play ball or do whatever, or they're naturally strong. Anything that involves strength training or something like that, that's an intrinsic type of motivation for them. That's something that they love doing. So to the average person, we're sitting there, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at different monitors again because I still haven't gotten any ink, y'all. That's on me. I still haven't gotten any ink. But to us natural people, normally strength training, going mountain climbing, that stuff is not a motivator for us. That's not an intrinsic thing for us. So we don't like that. Okay. Now let's talk about extrinsic motivation or external motivation, which is the exact same thing. Hey Gina, how are you? Good to see you. So I'm looking through several different monitors. All right. Extrinsic motivation. And this refers to external factors that drive you to do something. For example, you could be motivated by extrinsic rewards or consequences. Okay, so the extrinsic rewards. Let me give you an example. A lot of times, a lot of people's jobs, when you get a job or you get your medical insurance, you get rewards, like they give you a free membership at the gym because they want you to stay healthy. That's an extrinsic motivation. It's not something you might not normally say, I'm going to go get a gym membership. But with your health insurance, when they give that to you, they'll say, well, we'll give you a free gym membership at Planet Fitness. Hey, Helen, how you doing? Good to see you this evening. So this is an example of an extrinsic or external motivation. And so external motivation could look like maybe students. I'm going to go past that because I just gave y'all an example. So let's talk about 5 different types of extrinsic motivation. And I'm going to be cutting this down for the sake of time because I only have 30 minutes. I do have a lot to cover, but I'm not going to cover it all tonight. So let's talk about the 5 different intrinsic or internal motivations that a lot of us can relate to. Number 1, she says, learning motivation or competence motivation. And this is Dr. Oh my God, I'm sorry, let me go back. It's so hard right now because I'm so used to having my paper and pen. Dr. Perry. Dr. Elizabeth Perry. So Dr. Perry is saying that in this type of motivation, which is your learning motivation, you're driven by the act of learning. Okay, so what you're trying to achieve is exciting to you because you've never done it before, or you love learning a new skill. Or improving on an existing one. And so in this case, the reward upon completing this task is less important than the task itself, because it's something that you've been wanting to do. Like I shared with y'all from the beginning, since I started this month's Counsel of the Day, I have always, my entire life, wanted to learn how to sew. Being a plus size babe or a plus size woman, growing up, it was harder, especially for my body type. Most when you see a lot of plus size women on social media, they have the little tiny bottoms and the tiny waist, and then they come out with the boom boom hits and stuff, and they have a beautiful silhouette. That ain't me. I'm an apple. I've always been an apple, top heavy. That ain't me. And so it was always difficult growing up, trying to find right type of clothing for me, for my plus size body. And so I always desired to learn how to sew. So last year, I finally bought a sewing machine with all of the everything that goes with it, all of the tools and stuff that go with it. This year, a month or so ago, about a little over a month ago, I made an appointment with a family friend and had my first sewing lesson. So I went ahead, she gave me homework, and I've been doing it. And so my next lesson is coming up soon, because I have to be able to show her what I did. Now, again, I cannot sew in a straight line to save my life, but it's still a part of it. I'm still excited because I've taken a dress, made it into a shirt dress. I fixed up what I thought that what the insides of it and everything. The lines aren't straight, but I'm so excited because I'm able to show it to my instructor what I did. We can take everything out and we can start all over again. She can show me how to do a straight line, but it's still what we consider a learning motivation, something I've always wanted to do. Let's move on to number 2, where it says the attitude motivation. Number 2, this is an intrinsic now. It says the attitude motivation. So if you have positive, okay, and spreading positivity. So it's about making people feel good. So you seek out activities that allow you to do that. Now, most of us on here are moms. So a lot of times one thing we know how to do is we can make our children, our babies, we can be positive. We can make them feel better about something that they may not be feeling so good about. Peaches, my on YouTube, because y'all know I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So I have Peaches on YouTube right now, who comes on regularly. Thank you, Peaches. She's a school principal. She has the gift of this type of attitude motivation. She's a principal. She's dealing with thousands of young minds all the time, but she has the gift of motivating and being positive. This is an example of attitude motivation. I gave the first one with us mothers, us being moms. But when you can move this over to your career, like I said, Peaches here, who is a school principal, and she has thousands of young minds and young attitudes that she's working with. But she has such a positivity to her children, or all of the years she's been a principal. They are drawn to her. They love her. They trust her because of this, the attitude motivation. All right. So number three with the intrinsic type of motivation is achievement motivation. And for this type of motivation, you're not necessarily thinking about the rewards at the end. You just care about crossing the finish line. Okay, so there's no greater satisfaction than the feeling of accomplishment. So that's what number 3 is, achievement motivation. I think a lot of us have experienced achievement in our lives. When it comes to, I'm gonna go back to us being moms. Helen, I know Helen, a great family friend for a long time. We're family. And Helen is a mother of 5. Helen, you got 5 kids, right? I believe it's 5 kids. Helen has 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 son. And she's a grandmama and a grandmama. Correct me if I'm wrong, Helen, but I believe it's 5. I know Helen. I know she felt such achievement when her baby finished high school and became a young adult. That sense of achievement there. Am I right, Helen? You got 5 kids. I believe it is 5. That achievement, that's an example of achievement motivation right there. Because she said yes. Helen said yes. 5 children. And they're all grown now. So I know when that last baby became an adult, which I think is a Candy. Candy, I believe Candy is her last baby. And Candy is very successful, y'all. Her kids are college graduates and they have beautiful jobs. And I know she has a great sense of achievement knowing that her children, her babies, took everything that her husband and her instilled in them, and then they took it and made it work for their lives. That's what this is talking about with intrinsic. Number 3, achievement motivation. Number 4 is creative motivation, and this is up under the intrinsic type of, which is the internal motivation. Number 4 is, again, creative motivation. So it's Dr. Elizabeth says you might find yourself motivated by creativity. That's going back to that song, y'all, about that creativity. Okay. And she says, if this type of motivation sounds familiar, you value freedom of expression and are happy when people let you spread your wings. Now, we all have, what did Helen say? She said +2. Oh, that's right. Okay, I forgot. Helen raised 7 children. She's raised 7 babies. That's right. And now she's a grandmama. Ooh, oh my goodness. So I'm gonna go back to the creative motivation. We all have some type of creative motivation. All of us creatively can do something, and I know it feels good when we finally finish. Like I do a lot of things. Y'all know I sing, I write. I write books. I have books that are coming out soon. I write music. I write songs. Y'all know I'm an artist. I crochet. I knit. And again, now I'm sewing. There's a lot of things that I do. But when you finish that finish line, like when I finish something that I make, because I make everything, bikinis, I make dresses, pants. I do all of this with crocheting. When I finish the finished product, and I take my pictures, my after pictures, to stage it on my mannequins so I can upload it to my custom creations, Shanrae's Custom Creations, Instagram and YouTube and all of that, and show what I've done. That sense of finishing it. And this is what came out of this creation. It does. You feel so accomplished when you have creatively done something. Number 5, and we're still on intrinsic motivation, physiological motivation. And here Dr. Elizabeth says that you're motivated by biological needs, like food and water. And these motivations exist because years of evolution have made us this way. So the physiological motivation, which we all have, the physiological type of motivation. So now I'm going to move on to the 4 different extrinsic motivations, which we have all been motivated extrinsically. Excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. I'm saying it externally. Let's just put it that way. External motivation. So here's the 4 different ones. Number 1 is incentive motivation. Dr. Elizabeth says incentive motivation is all about external rewards. Just like a mouse motivated by cheese, you're motivated by the outcome of a task and not the task itself. So that is incentive motivation is the first external motivation or extrinsic motivation. Number 2 is fear motivation. We have all been touched by fear at some point in our lives. So fear motivation, Dr. Elizabeth says, that is when you're motivated by fear of an undesirable outcome. You don't want to do the task, but you have to do it if you want to avoid the bad outcome or that bad thing. So we have all experienced a fear motivation at some point in our lives. We really have. Number 3 is the power motivation. Dr. Elizabeth said, normal to want to control your life. I have total control over your life. But some people take it one step too far. And we all know that. We've all seen this in our lives. Okay, they want to control other people. There are many types of power, and they can be used for nefarious or altruistic reasons. Now, we have seen in politics people who have taken their fame and their power and their money too far. We have seen it in a whole lot. We've seen it on our jobs with our bosses. And so we've seen it on our jobs. We've seen it in the church. We have seen it everywhere where this type of power motivation, like, the person with the who has the title, everybody can't handle position well. And we have actually been around people who have actually taken their position and their power too far. This is what Dr. Elizabeth is talking about, power motivation. All right. And number 4, she's talking about social motivation. Okay. So Dr. Elizabeth says that social motivation describes the desire to be accepted by your social group. So here you're motivated by what other people think of you. Now, guys, we all know, especially those of us that are adults and been adults for a very long time, we know that is never good. When you're motivated by people's acceptance, that's never good, because if that is your motivation, you're going to always find yourself forever learning and never coming to the knowledge. So if this is that social motivation, having somebody else's approval, you have to get someone else's approval. That is a no altogether. So those are the 4 external and extrinsic motivations that Dr. Elizabeth was talking about. Now let's go over really quickly. Oh, before we do that, I want to play this, because this week I've been talking about how how we're leaving out 20. We're going to end 2023 strong in our careers this week, and in our even education. Coming up in our education, y'all know I'm taking classes in the evening to the end of the year from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8:30 in the evening. It hasn't been easy, but I'm telling you, I can't wait, because it's going to be worth it. All right, so let me play this really quickly.
Camps in tech sales that are getting people jobs. They are getting people results. But with that being said, so I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of boot camps in tech sales that are getting people jobs. They are getting people results. But with that being said, I have never seen any company getting the kind of insane results that Course Careers is getting people. So first of all, Course Careers, $500. It also takes about 4 weeks, so it's relatively flexible. You can also use my coupon code, which is Shane50, to save $50. So it's not going to be $500, it's actually going to be $450.
All right. I was talking earlier in the week about Course Careers. Course Careers, you can, I showed earlier in the week how you can actually start taking free courses in Course Careers. And there, you may have to pay a little something for the actual certificate when you complete the course, but it's free courses, and it's a lot of times they offer it in IT, AI, all of this new stuff, SEOs that people actually need to move up further in their careers. So Course Careers, once again, is something that I really wholeheartedly strongly suggest for those that are interested. And it doesn't, y'all know, it's way better than investing in college at this time. A lot of people cannot afford to go back to college and to go back for 2-3 years. Course Careers, you can do this on your own time, on your own schedule. Like you said, if you're going to pay for like an in-depth type of course, in-depth AI type of course, or something in IT or SEO, anything like that, $450 is not a lot of money. And they work with you. They give you, you can do payment plans, and then you will come out with your certifications. And one thing I like about Course Careers is if you're looking to go to a new job or switch careers, a lot of these jobs out here, when they see that you have gone through Course Careers and gotten certified through them, they hire you right from Course Careers. So a lot of these jobs are partnered with Course Careers. So again, Course Careers. Now let's move on. How to use the types of motivation to our advantage. Let me move this on. How can we use these different motivations to our advantage? Let me open this up and make sure I'm on the right thing. I'm not. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back. So I got to move this along. I was just talking. Here we go. How to use these type of motivations to our advantage. And I'm going to skim through these really quick because our time is really winding up. Okay, so Dr. Elizabeth talks about motivations they mean nothing if we do not convert the drive into action. So here are some examples of how we can implement these types of motivation into our everyday life. Okay, hey Sherry, how you doing? Number one, Dr. Elizabeth said, set goals. Let's set goals. Focusing on concrete goals is a great method for people to motivated by their achievement. So number one, set goals. Number two, Dr. Elizabeth says to tell people about your goals. Accountability partners. All right. So for the socially motivated type of people, telling people about your goals will keep you accountable. Accountability partners. All right. All right. So number three, Dr. Elizabeth says to create a reward system for yourself. And I wholeheartedly believe in reward systems because we do. I don't care if you set some money to the side every month and say, listen, I'm going to go and buy something. Buy this for me because I stuck to my goals. I did this and I accomplished some things. And if you don't want to spend any money, then figure out something, a non-monetary way to reward yourself. Okay, number four, Dr. Elizabeth says to write about who you helped. Okay, write about who you helped. So if your attitude motivated, take time to reflect on who you made smile. And at the end of the day, keep a journal as a record of happy moments. And I agree with that as well. Write about who you helped if you want to do that. Okay, number five, Dr. Elizabeth says to track your progress on every task that you do. Track your progress. So doing this will remind you how well you're actually doing. Okay, so you're keeping a record of where you first started and where you are now. And I promise you that really does help you when you're moving, you're motivated and you're moving towards your own personal goal. Number six, Dr. Elizabeth says to stay active. Stay active. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Stay active. Okay. Exercising and taking care of your physical well-being are essential to your physiological needs, and achieving this goal will help you stay on top of the others. Now, I'm going to pause here because we're from New York. All of us Peaches, we're from New York. I'm from New York. Sherry's from Jersey. Helen still lives in New York. I'm going to say this. When we lived in New York, a lot of times our feet was our mode of transportation. So you walked all the time. That's your physical exercise right there. You walk into the grocery store and back. You walk into the bus stop or the train stop and back. You walking wherever. You walking on Jamaica Avenue. You going to Brooklyn, going shopping. You walking up them blocks. You go to Manhattan, you walking. So that is a good thing. She said that's a great thing. So I'm gonna say to my New York family, y'all already got this exercise down. Where Dr. Elizabeth is saying to stay active, y'all are active. Because a lot of times you walk in New York, we got to walk. Now down south, we got to create ways because we jump in our car and go. So I jump in my car and I go to the park and either ride my bike or walk. And like I showed y'all last week, I showed y'all how I'll do, well, it used to be 100 jumps a day with my jump rope right on my porch, or if it was raining last week. So I showed you I was right inside of my house, but I didn't do 100 jumps. I did 60 jumps. That's better than no movement at all. And I love jump roping. So jump roping is simple, it's easy, and it's quick, but it's cardio. You can do that. All right. So Dr. Elizabeth, number 6 says to stay active. Number 7, Dr. Elizabeth says to eat healthy food. All right. So similar, which is similar to exercise. Your body needs good fuel. So to function at its best. So and to meet this need, you'll improve your performance. So we know eating greasy food every day is not healthy. Eating sweets every day and all day is not healthy. Okay, so we know how to eat. We know how to take care of ourselves. Just eat what's healthy. You don't have to eat everything that's healthy. Eat whatever you feel is healthy. Sherry said we walked everywhere growing up in New Jersey. Yup. Yes, we did that. Our feet was our mode of transportation. So that was the plus for us because our endurance was up with that. Okay. But like I was saying, Dr. Elizabeth said, eat healthy food. We don't have to eat every single healthy thing. but just pick and choose what you like to eat that's healthy and eat it. Make it a regular part of your diet. Number 8, Dr. Elizabeth says to use a tracking app. I actually do that. Use a tracking app. Many apps will help you gamify your task and your goals. So they'll provide a virtual reward to externally or extrinsically motivating you. So y'all know a lot of times we have our iPhone, our watch, Apple watches, or Google have they got some great watches too. Or you can just get any type of watch that now can track your movements. Do that. Your cell phone, when you have it in your pocket or something, and put it on. It tracks your movements. So our phones come with automatic apps and tracks. I'm gonna use Helen for an example again. Helen, I know at the end of the day, if you happen to choose to look at the heart that's on your phone and open it up, it'll show you how many steps that you've done, you've walked in that day, and which is showing that you're staying active and that you're getting your cardio in. I'm grateful for our phones now because we don't have to download stuff. Our phones come readily available with these apps, and they tracking us whether we know it or not. So that's good. So let's move to the best types of motivations for different scenarios. And I'm going to move this along quick. Dr. Elizabeth said, number 1, if you're a teacher or a principal, Peaches, you can use the motivators as types of learning motivations. Okay. Number 2, you can also use each type of motivations at work. What we talked about, the intrinsic, I would prefer the intrinsic motivations. Okay, you can use that at work or in your leadership roles or anything like that. You can use it as a team leader, team building skills and stuff like that. It helps boost morale. And so that's good. Dr. Elizabeth said, number 3, if an employee is underperforming, find out what their intrinsic motivators are, and you can try to assign them projects based on what moves them. Now, I'll use Peaches again as an example. She's a principal, so she has several educators that are up under her tutelage and up under her leadership on her job. I'm quite sure Peaches has used all kinds of intrinsic motivators because when you're a principal of a school, you got to group up your departments. You got to put some sub leaders up under you to make sure that everything is functioning and everything is moving accordingly. So I know that Peaches, as a principal of her school, that she automatically uses plenty of intrinsic motivators. All right. So now we're going to get to the final question. Can motivation be negative? All right. Let me move this along. Can motivation be negative? Okay. There we go. Can motivation be negative? So Dr. Elizabeth says that as you create a motivation strategy for yourself or other people, remember that incentives can either be positive or negative. Peaches said, for real, gotta be creative. I know you do. And as a retired educator, I take my hat off to you, Peaches, as a principal, because with me, being in a department and being me and my veteran teachers, we're being like the veteran leads or the leads over our departments. That's not easy. So you having a whole entire school that you have to work with, and Helen said, yes, it will. My hat is off to you. So Dr. Elizabeth is saying sometimes with setting goals, we have to remember that incentives can either be positive or negative with the other people who are around us or live with us closely up under us. Peaches said, yeah, okay. And so let me give you a prime example. And a lot of y'all know this name, Tabitha Brown. And I remember when she talked about when she switched over to being a vegan. And I love what she was saying. She decided to change up her lifestyle because she started having some health issues. But one thing she said, I like what she said. She did not force that lifestyle on her husband and her children. She made that decision for her. And so let's moving over to what Dr. Elizabeth's saying. So she was motivated to change her life, her eating habits from eating meat to being a vegan. but she didn't make it a negative experience for the people around her. She didn't try to force them to become vegans as well. They slowly and surely came on board and chose for themselves to become vegans because they watched how healthier she was getting, first of all. Secondly, how good her recipes were tasting, and how they realized that they weren't missing the meat when she was cooking the food for herself. So that, this is what Dr. Elizabeth is talking about when she's talking about can a motivation become negative for you or for someone else around you? Helen says that she live on the 4th floor. She gets off on the 2nd floor and walk up for the. I like that, Helen. Helen lives on the 4th floor in New York in her building and gets off at the 2nd floor deliberately and walks up the other 2 flights every day to stay healthy. Now, that is an intrinsic or an internal motivator, like Dr. Elizabeth said. And I love that. She's doing this on purpose so she can stay healthy. And Helen is very, if you see her, she's very physically fit, very physically fit. So she walks because her physique she's physically fit. She's trim. She's nice and trim. And I'll tell you, so I like that, Helen. I like that. I know people that when they go shopping, maybe at Walmart or somewhere, they deliberately park in the back, their car way in the back, so they can walk. They walk all the way in, and so that's how they get their steps in. So there's different ways that we can motivate ourselves to get our physical fitness in and all of that. Okay, so number 2, Dr. Elizabeth says that negative incentives will only hurt motivation in the long run. So negative incentives can be a negative motivation. She said exploiting an employee's fear of failure is negative because it is linked to a stressful emotion, and avoidance of a negative outcome, failure. In the long term, you're placing a burden on their shoulders and you're hurting their problem solving skills. Plus, you could risk burning them out. So I'm glad that Dr. Elizabeth brought this up, because I know if I have experienced that with someone in position, I'm quite sure you all have too, where someone in position of power have exploited or they push something negatively on you deliberately, because a lot of times a lot of the wrong type of managers and supervisors, they do these type of things because they know a lot of times we need our jobs. This is what's going to take our, we can pay our bills and stuff. So if they can push, like a lot of times I've had some supervisors that try to push their responsibilities off on me because, again, I was working in administration. So I'm very thorough with what I do, and I'm making sure I do everything, and I finish on my projects, and I do all of that, and I work with my team. I try to make sure I do teamwork well. But I've actually experienced a few of my supervisors who tried to push their projects and their work on me, and then try to make it seem like, it was something that I had to do. And then I happened to mention it to another supervisor, and then they was like, oh no, that's not your job. That is only our job. Like, you have to have certain allowance to even do that type of job. And I was like, okay. And that's why we have to use the power of our mouth and speak up as well. And because I would speak up and say, well, this is what I was asked to do. And then they had to deal with their supervisor, because they were then skating off their job, knowing that somebody else was doing well. You just don't want that. So if you ever experience that, dealing with a supervisor or someone in leadership position that is trying to manipulate you, because that's manipulation, find a way to speak up, because your words are power. Try to find a way to speak up and defend yourself and get that off of you. All right. So Dr. Elizabeth says, instead of listening to your teams, okay, this is the number 3, intrinsic motivators. If a member loves to learn, learning into that desire is a positive incentive. So you're challenging them to do work that they enjoy, which keeps them interested and motivated. Promotions and praise are also great examples of positive motivating factors. Now, when I used to teach, they would break up departments and we would have our teams and stuff there. So again, we would assess who had strengths in what. So I was always grateful to have a couple of team members that did love to learn. So what they did, they didn't mind learning it new, and then bringing it back to us, our team and our department, and we'll always do a visual and would demonstrate it and show it to us so we can all be on board together and we'll be able to work better as a team. So this is what Dr. Elizabeth is talking about. When you are doing intrinsic motivations like this with whatever team members or someone you may work with or someone you may know, if they love researching, if they love to learn, it's okay to work with that person. Maybe give them that responsibility or that title and say, this is your position to do this, and we'll come up on you and we'll learn from you. That's always a great way too. Now, we went over external motivations, internal motivations, what motivates us as individuals, and then what motivations can become negative if you impose that on people. So we're going to go to our takeaway. But before I take away, I want to play this final video for tonight. I didn't move this out the way. Okay, I'll be trying to do too many things at one time.
Thursday, YouTube family, YouTube friends, and also happy Thanksgiving. I am back with 6 overnight work from home job leads that I would like to share with you, and let's dive right into it. The first job is with Counsel. They're seeking content marketing specialists to work from. The second job is with Locust. They're seeking customer support specialists to work overnight, Fridays to Monday, 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The third job is with DCG. They're seeking overnight media monitors to work from home. This is a part-time job. The fourth job is with Nelnet. They're seeking staff auditors to work. The fifth job is with Motorola Solutions. They're seeking senior NOC technical support specialists to work from home. The sixth job is with Mission Ward. They're seeking freelance digital editors to work. Go to my YouTube channel, type in Thressa Sweat, and this is where you can go and watch the long version videos. And to apply for the job, you're going to click more, and then you're going to go where it says links to the work from home jobs. Subscribe to the channel for more non-phone work from home jobs.
Okay, so I talked about Thressa Sweat on Tuesday night. I wound up on YouTube. I was checking my YouTube channel because I get a lot of notifications, and ran into one of her shorts. And I looked at it and I said, okay, Thressa Sweat is a job lead professional. And what she does every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, she gets on and she gives several job leads every morning. Thressa Sweat, Thressa. That's her name, Thressa. Last name Sweat, Sweat, like Keith Sweat, but it's Thressa Sweat. She gives remote work job leads every morning, and they're non-phone, where you don't have to pick up the phone and call nobody. Nobody's calling you, but she gives remote job leads every morning. And she posts the people who gets hired. She posts congratulations and everything. So and she's a Christian woman. So I wanted to share this with you all this week. These are things that I've looked into. These are things that I do. I apply for her job leads as well. When I hear different things, whatever you can do, and they're some are complicated and some are simple. They're really entry level. But if you are looking for part-time, contractual, or full-time, whatever you want to do, work from home jobs, Thressa Sweat on YouTube, Thressa, and Sweat, Sweat, like Keith Sweat on YouTube. Every morning she gives new job leads and people are getting hired. All right, so let's move this along. Our takeaway for tonight, it says that I'm looking forward. So different motivators work for different people. And so knowing what drives you will help you. It will help you. And this is a good trick. Dr. Elizabeth says, she said it will trick your brain into being more productive. So you can set up a reward system to build your new habits. boost employee motivation, or find work that is more meaningful to you. And once you've equipped with the right types of motivation, you can do it. So if you need extra support, now this is what I like. You can contact Better Up. So BETTR up.com. And this Better Up can help you get started with whatever you're trying to get motivated to do. All right. And so together, she's saying that, and this is Dr. Elizabeth, together, you can find out what motivates you, and you can help rekindle that flame of inspiration in you. So this is, again, if you need help starting up with something, there's a website for that, betterup.com. All right, so let's look at our quote for tonight. Now, the quote for tonight says, I never lose. Either I win or I learn. And this is by Nelson Mandela. He said, I never lose. We either win or we learn. All right. So that's by Nelson Mandela. Let me move on to my theory website page. I'm going to open this up a little bit for my fellow counselors and theorists. This is where I got my teachings from on tonight. Let me move this along. Okay, add a community. Those people, if you know someone that has diagnosis of ADD, ADHD, OCD, or something within that spectrum, add a community plus. Add a Plus community is a support group community for those that have ADD, ADHD, OCD, those type of things, and any type of spectrum like that. And the support group, it's counselors in there. There are psychiatrists, psychologists, all of them in there that will help give you strategies on maybe something that you may be struggling with. Adda.com community. Let me move this on. All right. 988 is a crisis hotline. If you know someone that may be struggling and they may be, really struggling and talking about that they're not happy anymore. 988 is a 24/7 hotline that you can call, you can text, you can go online and do 988. They have 24/7 counselors or people that you can talk with that is available 24/7. 988 crisis hotline. All right, betterhelp.com. If you would like to go online and you would like to speak to a licensed therapist or degreed counselor, betterhelp.com. There's a 24/7 counseling hotline. It's affordable. You can do virtual. You can do telephone calls, or you can go walk into the office if you want. But betterhelp.com. And I'm going to pause here. I do not get any type of compensation for talking about these websites. I'm a counselor, and I'm one that loves to help people. So this is why I talk about these wonderful, wonderful different outlets for everybody. So betterhelp.com. It's affordable, 24/7, licensed and degree counselors at your fingertips. Betterhelp.com. And let me move this along now. All right. BetterHelp. Okay. Now, if there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae that you've missed or you just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. And I'm asking you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Then for notifications, hit the bell, and then select any past series that you would like to watch. Shanrae Price, YouTube. Now, I'm a professional one-on-one counselor. So if you're interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, and if you feel comfortable talking with me, if you know me, okay. And those that don't know me, I counsel all the time. I get calls in all the time. People call in, and I do as little as 15 minutes, because there's some people that just need to work through something. They just need to talk and work through something, and to get strategies to kind of help them work through. Maybe they're having a stressful week or a stressful time with their family. So I can do as little as 15 minutes. So I am a degree counselor. I do one-on-one counseling. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me via my Facebook Messenger at Shanrae Owens page, or you can do the old school and email me at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your overall life's goals and dreams. Now, this has been week 3 of Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I want to thank you so much for being with us. Thank y'all. Thank you, my YouTube family. Thank you. Thank you, my Twitter family. Thank you, my Facebook family. I love and appreciate you all. I hope y'all can take some of these strategies and run with it. If you know somebody that maybe you want to share it with. Want to share my pages? Go on YouTube, share it. Share this with them. And that's my goal. I pray that what I give, these strategies, that it helps you all and it helps people in their life's walk. All right, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see y'all next Tuesday and next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our final week of ending 2023 strong. Next week, we're going to be talking about our personal lives, our friendships, and our love lives. Or if you just romantic life, or you just want to hang out and chill with somebody, Netflix and chill. That's what we're going to be talking about. Being motivated in that next week. Again, I strongly believe if we can finish 2023 strong, we can begin 2024 extra strong, but going straight up. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. See y'all next Tuesday, next Thursday. Good night, everybody. I should have had this cued.